basically the disposition of forces in Romania during the First World War. Romania had mobilised 860,000 men during August 1916, 60,000 men for the reserve at Bucharest, and 200,000 men each for their four armies would make 860,000 men. Personally, I believe Romania made a false decision, made a wrong decision to invade Transylvania first, because obviously they make the same mistakes as the Russians did, attacking a stronger enemy first instead of actually attacking the weaker enemy first, and Russia got overrun by Germany as a result, as did Romania. And the British and the Allies wanted Romania to attack Bulgaria in the south. Because Bulgaria was the weaker enemy in the south. Bulgaria was the weaker enemy in the south, so wanted Romania to actually invade Bulgaria so they can link up with Allied forces in Sri Lanka. But that's more second gun, because obviously if Romania did invade Bulgaria first, the Surreal advance did not really do very much. It hardly moved 1 inch from 1916 to 1918. Only moved, especially after September 1918. But this is the disposition of Romanian forces. Romania entered the war on the Austria-Hungarians, on the Allied side, because it wanted to gain Transylvania and Bukovina. All this area was full of Romanians. The majority of this area was full of ethnic Romanians under the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and the Romanians sought to unite under one state, and that included Bessarabia from Russia as well. The principalities of Wallachia and Moldavia united in 1859 and under the reign of Prince Alexander Kuzar. Kuzar was later forced to abdicate amid corruption scandals, etc. And Karl Hohenzollern Sigmaringen was elected as Prince of Romania. Now, when we first came to Romania, in 1866, all these railways did not exist at all. Romania was very undeveloped and it was poor. But by the time King Harold I died in October 1940, Romania was massively developed. It was the most productive country in the Balkans, and all the wells here in Ploiești were very important to the Romanian economy, and they produced millions of tons of barrels of oil. And the Allies and Central Powers had a vested interest in getting Romania onto their side because of the oil fields here at Ploiești. The Germans especially wanted the oil. And the consequence of Romania joining the Allies in the First World War was that it overstretched the German army, and it furthermore stretched the German war economy, which by August 1916 had become so stretched that the Germans were beginning to go hungry in August 1916. Contrary to this map, another map, Western historian map, this map shows a punitive expedition into Transylvania. However, Romanians actually got this far around here, and they managed to capture Brasov, managed to capture many key Fogras, managed to capture Skorsberg as well, and managed to capture many areas in Transylvania. They also captured Sibiu as well, which is modern day back then it was Hermannstadt, but now it's Sibiu. But the Romanian success did not last long, because if you notice by the map, Serbia and Bulgaria was Central Powers ally. In reality, Bulgaria was a German satellite. Serbia has already been conquered. Russia was a liability. So Romania was surrounded on nearly all sides by enemies. and so its location and its vulnerability was very serious. Also, if you look at the Black Sea as well, the only way out of the Black Sea would be to go through the Dardanelles Straits and through Gallipoli. The Allies did try to actually force the Strait narrows open, but were soundly defeated by the Turks during the Gallipoli campaign in 1915 to 1916. So all hope of getting the supplies to Romania were gone, as it were. Now, obviously, the British could send supplies up to Russia and down to Romania, but obviously this took a very long time. And of course, sending supplies to Romania in 1917 to 18 was more of a problem because Russia had been gripped by revolution, and the Allies who were sending supplies to Romania were shot at, and also were actually also their supplies were nicked along the way.